Okay, this is a little scarier looking example of dividing rational expressions. So just remember, rational expressions are fractions, and to divide fractions, we need to multiply by the reciprocal. So that's going to be our very first step. We're going to leave the first fraction alone, and we're going to flip the second fraction. Okay, and then to multiply fractions, you just go straight across. But again, I'm going to encourage you to simplify before you do that. Really, all we'd be doing if we went straight across right now is writing d squared minus 16 times d squared plus 5d minus 6 on the top, and that whole mess on the bottom. If you start actually multiplying that out, you're going to have a disaster because you won't be able to get it refactored. We'd have a fourth degree numerator and a fourth degree denominator, and it's very unlikely that that's going to turn into something that we can factor. Okay, so let's start with the top of the first fraction. That's two terms, and really all we can hope to do with two terms is either factor out a common factor, which I don't see, or spot a difference of squares, which I do see. That's a d squared minus 4 squared, so it splits into d plus 4d minus 4. The bottom of that same fraction, d squared plus d minus 12. So no common factor. The leading coefficient of 1 is really nice because I'm looking for factors of negative 12 that add up to 1 to get that 1d in the middle. So positive 4, negative 3. Okay, third, d squared plus 5d minus 6. Again, that leading coefficient of 1 is nice. I need factors of negative 6 that add up to 5, so I think that's going to be a plus 6 minus 1. And last but not least, I'm going for, d squared minus 2d minus 8, so leading coefficients 1, 1d squared. Factors of negative 8 that add up to negative 2 are negative 4 and positive 2. Okay, so now that everything is factored, I've written every piece of this as a product. All we have is multiplication and division, as long as we don't start trying to single things out inside the parentheses. I can finally cancel. If I am multiplying by d minus 4, it's attached to everything by multiplication, and I'm dividing by d minus 4, that cancels. If I'm multiplying by a d plus 4, dividing by a d plus 4, that cancels. And that's all I get. So bummer. Okay, still pretty good. I get a d plus 6, d minus 1, over d minus 3, d plus 2. And generally, I'm actually not too worried about the fact that that's all in factored form. We simplified the fraction. Multiplying it out, I don't see a huge advantage to without knowing what I'm going to do with it next. I think for the purposes of some of your online homework, you might have to. So if so, go that one extra step. We're going to have a d squared. Our outside is negative d. Our inside is 6d. So that adds up to 5d minus 6. Which is exactly where we got it from, so that makes sense. Maybe my fraction bar works. And then on the bottom, we have a d squared. Outside, inside is 2d minus 3d, so minus d, and then 2 times negative 3 is negative 6. Avoid the temptation to cancel those 6's. I know it looks tempting, but those are subtracted from everything else. Division and subtraction do not cancel. They're not inverses. Okay, thanks for watching.